Hello there, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning into Mentium, the podcast that takes you on a journey to unlock the full potential of your mind. My name is Majama. I will be your host and your guide on this adventure into the fascinating realm of mindset, mental fitness, and personal growth. In each episode, I dive deep into the intricacies of the human mind, exploring the power of positive thinking, resilience, and the strategies to cultivate a mindset that propels you towards success. So, buckle up for a journey of self discovery, empowerment, and transformation. Get ready to unleash the power of your mind with Mentium. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me again on another episode of Mentium. As always, I am pleased and honored to have you around. Now, whether you were jogging or you were on the treadmill at home or just relaxing on this Sunday morning, I would like to thank you again for always taking the time to tune in when a new episode is dropped. Today, I will be talking about a topic that is so important, that has the power to transform your life and your relationships. And that topic is forgiveness. You see, forgiveness is often misunderstood and can be incredibly challenging to practice, but its benefits are profound. So, in today's episode, I would like to discuss why you should always forgive and who you should forgive for, but also give you practical steps on how to go about it. So grab a cup of coffee, find a comfortable spot, and let's get started. But as you know, I would always love to start with definitions. So today is no different. Let's begin by defining what forgiveness really means. Forgiveness is the act of letting go of resentment and thoughts of revenge. It is a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of anger and resentment towards somebody who has harmed you, regardless of whether they deserve it or not. It is important to note that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning the wrongdoing. It does not mean that you have to reconcile with the person who hurt you or even speak to them again. Forgiveness is primarily for your own benefit, not for the person who wronged you. Other definitions that I heard on the Oprah show were that forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be different. Forgiveness is seeing the other person in the light of love rather than in the action of what happened. But let me ask you this. Have you ever been hurt? Been hurt so bad that you could not forget or forgive? Have you ever been betrayed by a person that you really trusted? How did it feel? If it was depressing or filling you up with hatred, it is time for you to let go. Your well-being is more important than dwelling on someone's past actions, even though they might have negatively affected you. You need to release your anger in order to live a healthier life. You need to forgive in order to live happier. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with rocks everywhere you go. This weight slows you down and exhausts you. Forgiveness is like taking off that backpack. The rocks are still there, but they no longer weigh you down because you put the backpack down. Now, let's talk about why you should always forgive. In this section, we would like to discuss the benefits of forgiveness, which are both psychological and physical. Studies have shown that forgiveness reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. Holding on to anger and resentment can lead to chronic stress, which negatively impacts your mental health. Forgiveness will promote emotional healing. It allows you to move forward with your life instead of being stuck in the cycle of bitterness. Let's talk about the physical benefits. Studies have shown that forgiveness can improve cardiovascular health. It also can lead to low blood pressure and develop a stronger immune system. You see, anger, especially chronic anger, will take a toll on your body, and that can lead to various health issues. So it is something to be avoided. Now, on the relationship benefit side of things, forgiveness can mend broken relationships and foster deeper connections. It allows for healthier communication and empathy. It sets a positive example for others. By practicing forgiveness, you encourage those around you to do the same, creating a more compassionate environment. You don't even have to wait for people to ask for forgiveness because you are doing it for you. So do it right away. It is true that forgiveness may appear weak in the eyes of others, but it brings you power and makes you less vulnerable to others. Forgiveness brings the kind of peace that helps you go on with life, and that alone is worth it. Remember, forgiving somebody, as we alluded to earlier, doesn't mean that what the other person did was okay. It means that you were choosing to focus on your own well-being and growth. Now, let's talk about who forgiveness is for, and then we'll deal with the practical steps on how to forgive. Who forgiveness is for? The answer is simple. We forgive for ourselves. Think about it. Living with a grudge is painful, depressing, and controlling. Why do we want to subject ourselves to such a life? Take the road to forgiveness. It will allow you to let go of the past, enjoy the present, and prepare for a better future. When we forgive, we reclaim energy that used to be wasted on anger and resentment. When we forgive, we are releasing ourselves from the pain we have suffered at the hands of others. By forgiving, we are walking away from judgment, including judgment of ourselves. Sometimes we can be harsh on ourselves because of what somebody did to us. Passing wrong kinds of judgment like we were weak, we were naive, or we were not careful. Thus taking the focus on what's more important in our lives. To forgive is crucial, but let's be clear about something. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we agree or understand what the other person has done to us, or they have the right to do what they did, or should be pardoned for their actions. It simply means that we have made the choice to let go, the choice to give the gift of love, acceptance, and generosity, not only to the other person, even though they do not deserve it, but to the most important of all, us. To illustrate this point, I would like to share a story about someone who experienced significant healing through forgiveness. For the sake of this podcast, we'll change the names. So meet Sarah. Sarah was deeply hurt by her best friend Amy, who betrayed her by spreading false rumors about her. The betrayal left Sarah feeling devastated and angry. For months, she carried around the pain, unable to forgive Amy. One day, Sarah decided she was tired of feeling weighed down by resentment. She took the first step towards forgiveness by acknowledging her feelings and allowing herself to grieve the loss of trust. She then tried to understand why Amy might have acted the way she did. realizing that Amy had been going through a difficult time herself and had acted out of insecurity and fear. Sarah made a conscious decision to forgive Amy, not for Amy's sake, but for her own peace of mind. She wrote a letter to Amy, not necessarily to send, but to express her feelings and release her anger. Through this process, Sarah felt a sense of relief and empowerment. Over time, Sarah let go of her resentment. She focused on her present relationships and activities that brought her joy. Interestingly, this act of forgiveness also opened up the possibility of mending her relationship with Amy. While they did not immediately become best friends again, they were able to have an honest conversation, leading to a gradual rebuilding of their trust. Sarah's story reminds us that forgiveness is a powerful tool for healing. By choosing to forgive, she freed herself from the chains of anger and bitterness, allowing herself to move forward and find peace. Stories like this reminds us that while forgiveness is challenging, it is also incredibly empowering. By forgiving, we reclaim control of our emotions and our lives. But how do we go about it? As you see in the story, let's go step by step on how forgiving is done. Forgiveness, as we already mentioned, is a difficult process, especially when the wound is deep. Here are some practical steps to help you on your journey to forgiveness. Number one, acknowledge your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the pain and anger. It's important to process these emotions rather than just suppressing them. Number two, reflect on the situation. Try to understand the context of hurtful action. What might have caused the person to act the way they did? This doesn't excuse their behavior at all, but it can provide insight and promote empathy on your part. Number three, decide to forgive. Make a conscious decision to forgive. This doesn't happen overnight, and it's okay if it takes time. The important thing is to commit to the process. Number four, let go of resentment. Release the hold that anger and resentment have on you. This can be done through various methods like meditation, journaling, or talking to a therapist. Number five, focus on the present. Forgiveness allows you to live in the present rather than being trapped in the past. Focus on your current relationships and activities that bring you joy. Number six, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself throughout this process. Forgiving others is challenging, and it's important to treat yourself with the same compassion you aim to extend to others. Try to think how forgiveness would mean if you were the one who made the mistake. But also acknowledge one thing, that we are all human beings, therefore are not perfect and are liable to mistakes. So number seven is to seek professional help if needed. If the hurt is too deep and you find it hard to forgive, consider seeking help from a therapist. They can provide tools and support to help you through the process. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It's a process that takes time, patience, and effort. But the freedom and peace that comes from forgiving are well worth it. As we wrap up today's episode, I would like you to remember that forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It's not about forgetting or excusing the harm done to you. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. Remember this: when you forgive, you have chosen to live life with a merciful heart. With a merciful heart comes the power to be free and live a better and meaningful life. Forgive because it will release you from the prison of the past and allow you to live in the present where your success is made. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of exploration and growth. If you have any thoughts or stories about forgiveness, feel free to share them with us on our social media channels or by email, all of which is available in the description of this podcast, because we would love to hear from you. Before we close, I would like to ask you to share this episode if it resonated with you. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others. Stay mindful, stay compassionate. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Peace.